You're most welcome to SkillBridge Institute. We are still on project management, and right now we are going to discuss about task dependencies and network diagrams. The first thing that we need to understand, we need to define what are task dependencies. So task dependencies describes the relationship between task and define their order of completion. So it talks about how tasks are related, and it also talks about the order to say which task is going to start first, then which one is going to come next. So let's look at this particular example. We have got a task of painting a wall. So we need to understand that the task of painting a wall depends on a task of building a wall. So that is what we need to understand. So task B on that one depends on task A. So let's talk about the importance of task dependencies. The importance is that it helps to organize tasks for smoother workflow. So by the end of the day, if you have got task dependencies, the work becomes organized. As a result, you will have a smoother workflow. Let's talk about types of task dependencies. So type number one, we have got start, we have got finish to start, FS. So on that one, task B starts after task A is completed or is finished. For example, you are writing a book. For you to start editing that particular book, first you need to complete writing that book. So that is finish to start. Then number two, we have got start to start. These are tasks which start at the same time concurrently. So for example, task B starts when task A starts. For example, when you are filming and recording audio, these things, they are supposed to go together. For example, when you are teaching online as I'm doing, you need to understand that filming as well as audio recording, these are supposed to go together at the same time. The other one, it is finish to finish, FF. So on this one, task B finishes when task A finishes. So for example, proofreading finishes after writing is completed. So whenever you are writing a book, so you want to proofread that particular book so that there should not be mistakes. So proofreading to be completed, that means you have now finished writing that particular book. So it is finished to finish. So another one, it is start to finish. On this one, task B finishes after task A starts. An example on that one, it is a guard shift's end when the next shift starts. So let's say a guard was on a night shift. For the shift of that particular guard to end, it is when the shift of another guard starts. So that is what we need to understand. Let's talk about network diagrams. What are these? So we need to understand that network diagrams, these are visual tools showing task sequences and dependencies. So these are just things which are drawn, and those things which are drawn, they show the sequence of tasks as well as how those tasks are depending on each other. So network diagrams have got the following structures. Number one, node. So nodes, they represent tasks. Then the other thing, it's arrows. Arrows depicts dependencies. For example, we are having in software development, you have got task A, which is UI design. So after UI design, you need to go to task B, that is backend development. After backend development, then you go to task C, which is integration. Let's talk about the benefits of network diagrams. The benefit number one, it is clear visualization. So because it is something that is drawn, so in your project, it gives you a clear picture of what will be happening. Another one, it is improved scheduling. So because you understand that I'm going to start this one, then this one is going to come next. So it improves you in your time management as you be doing your work. The other thing, it is resource allocation. So you're able to allocate resources properly within your tasks. Let's talk about steps to create network diagrams. Step number 1, you need to list tasks and dependencies. So you need to understand all the tasks which are there and how those tasks are related to each other, in the sense that you need to understand that this task is going to start first. From there, I'm going to go to this particular next task. From there, you need to draw notes. So notes can be boxes or circles. So those ones, they are going to represent tasks. Then you add the arrows for dependencies. So arrows are just going to show that this task is depending on this task. From there, you need to identify the critical path. So you need to identify that path which gives you shortest project duration. So, for example, here we have got an example of a network diagram. So, an example here, the project is starting here. Then I've got task 1. So, tasks here are shown in this particular rectangular boxes. And these arrows, those are showing dependencies, how tasks are depending on each other. So, for example, task 3 is depending on task 1 to finish first. So, for you to deal with task 3, you need first to deal with task 1. At the same time, for you to deal with task 2, for you to deal with task 4, you need to first deal with task 2. So, for example, here I've got a statement which is saying task 3 cannot begin until both task 1 and 2 are completed. So, for you to deal with task 3, you need first to deal with task 1 and task 2. So, for example, here this one is saying task 4 is a predecessor to task 5 and a successor to task 2. So that means you're saying task 4. This one, we need to understand that task 4 comes before task 5. But task 4 comes before task 2. That is what we need to understand. So this one is the end of your project. So we need to understand that each and every project has got lifespan. You have a project which can take a month, a year, even 10 years, but there is no project that will be there forever. Every project has got its lifespan. So project has got where it's going to start and where it's going to end. So in a network diagram, that network diagram is going to show all those things from starting to finish. Let's talk about best practices for managing dependencies. Number 1, you need to use tools. So you can use tools like softwares like Trello, Asana, Microsoft Project, and the like. Another best practice, you need to update it regularly. So make sure that you are revising the dependencies as the project is going on. Another one, you need to make sure that you need to avoid overlap. So you need to minimize overlapping of tasks. Another thing is you need to communicate clearly. So ensure that all team members, they understand the relationship between the tasks. Thank you so much.